you just click a redirect original URL, and then in that redirection, you can redirect user after success login to any website you want. On the portal customization, you have two options, which is legacy and AngularJS. Legacy, you cannot do any changes on the landing page. Then you only will see like this only. Okay. If you choose Angular, you can put you can change a few things from here. Either you can upload the image, the logo. You can change, for example, like this. So logo will be changed. Background email also can. Okay, like this. And then you also can enable the TNC if you need the TNC. And then you click submit. So here, if the text you cannot see, you can change the color here. For example. And then many things you can modify from here if you choose Angular JS instead of legacy JSP. Okay, this one. So to modify the landing page, you have to take note for the image sizing for background and logo here. An image of about 920 wide and 640 pixel height is recommended for background, and then for the logo, it format about 400 pixel wide and height as a recommendation from Ubiquiti. Okay, here access control, pre-authorization access, like I said before, is controller IP. Here, it must put the controller IP, for example, like this. So for my case, my IP is 125. So we need to put here 125. Yeah, I have some question. This function working for USG. Actually, this one for the function you need. You can use any router, but you must have the controller, Ubiquiti controller. Either you install from on the PC or server, or using cloud key. The router USG or any other router doesn't matter. Okay, clear? Okay, continue. Pre-authorization is controller IP. And then post-authorization restrictions, meaning that user will block from all this network. They only allow on the guest network only. So if you have the printer and so on, the guest cannot be used. Okay, hotspot. Under hotspot, you have a voucher-based authorization. Okay, another question is, this controller support any routers and need purchase or free the controller? For the controller, actually, if you using server or PC, you just download for free. If you want to use the appliance like UCK, Cloud Key, you need to buy the Cloud Key lah. But the software itself is free. Okay. So the hotspot, you have a few types, which is voucher, payments, Radius or Facebook is still under beta, WeChat also under beta. So for example, by default, normally we're using voucher, and payment base, not all countries support this one. For example, you can see here, just US, Canada, and UK on support PayPal. QuickPay only Europe, Authorization.net, just US and Canada, and IPPay just US and Canada also. Radius base, normally we use third-party radius. If you choose to use social, which is Facebook or Google Plus, you need some additional configuration on the Facebook and Google Plus. For this one, you can see from this article I give you on the chat box. This one for media social authorization. So you need to have the Apple ID, apps ID, app secret, and scope. Google Plus also same. If you use WeChat, you also need have the app ID, app secret, shop ID, and secret key. This one for WeChat, I believe you need to register with WeChat, and you must have the company registration at China, I think. Okay, then for hotspot admin rules, there you can create the admin rule for manage the hotspot system on your site lah. For example, they can only print voucher, manage guest authorization, and check guest authentication, and many more. This one you can see here. Go to hotspot manager. And then here, everything for manage the voucher. So as operator, you can create another account. So the next operator login doesn't need to log in into your controller. You just log into the hotspot manager only. So this one is example how to create the voucher. For example, like this, you go to voucher here, and then create voucher. So here you can create how many vouchers in one time, for example, 10, 20, or whatever. And then quota, one time or multi-use unlimited, which means if you choose the one time, it means the one voucher only can log in one time on the device lah. If you choose the multi-use, you can set how many usage for that voucher. For example, voucher A, you have your visitor have two devices, so they can use the same voucher ID with two devices. And then expiration, you can minimum is 8 hours to 24 hours, 2 days, but then your admin also can define follow what you require lah. It's just minutes, hour, or days. And then you also can limit the bandwidth in KB. For example, we put a 1024, 1024, and then byte quota also you can set. And test. So we set the 20 voucher inbox and then save. So we automatically generate it here lah. Okay, clear? Any question? No? Okay, so this one. Okay, this one is for, do you limit bandwidth on the wireless network For example, user group is, we set another user group. For example, we put this guest and limit download and upload. For example, 1, 2, 4. Okay, on this part is actually you can control for guest network or overall, which means, for example, your guest network is under 192.168.30.1/20, and you have your office network under 192.168.1.1/20. Your office have, for example, 100 Mbps, but then you want to limit bandwidth allocation for guest network only 5 Mbps, so you can create under the user group and then save. After that, you need to go to wireless network again under hotspot lah, what we create before. So you need to edit lah this one to assign the user group. So if you choose the default, means they are limited, so you will share with other network lah. If you choose guest, for example, tadi before this we already create the guest with 5 Mbps, so user guest network will only have 5 Mbps speed dedicated for them, and then save. Okay. Next, viewing guest connection information. A client UBNT contact refer to client device, PC or smart TV, to name few guest, any client device that network via guest network. Is it guest portal or not? Any? So here you can go through the insight lah, or view your guest information here. For example, inside you can see all the information about the past connection, past guest authorizations, and then many things, controller logs. So for example, if you using the guest network, you can see lah the past guest authentication. This one is empty because this one is no user here. Okay, and then beside that, so on the client, you also can know the client that connected to your network also. If you want to see the only guest, you can tap here, so you can only see the guest who's connected to the guest network. The users is for LAN network or corporate network. So because you see here, by default is you have the corporate network LAN. If you have another network for guests, you can create here. For example, like I said before, 192.168.100.1. Yes. And then purpose, you must select the guest. You tick the guest. Corporate is your management lah. It's simple. And then VLAN, if you using you have a VLAN, you need to use a VLAN, so you can put the VLAN. Is followed by your router lah. This interface. Okay. The question is, what product need if I want use this guest portal? The most important is UBNT AP and UBNT Controller. You can use any model on the UBNT AP, and the controller you can use appliance or software based. Doesn't matter. For the router, that one, if you want full pulled by Ubiquiti, you can use a USG lah. USG, you can see the traffic. Also, if you just using a normal router ada on USG, you just only can manage the hotspot lah. If you use the USG required, you can see the statistic also. So all information the traffic you can see here. If you're not using USG, you will not see any information here lah on the traffic. Okay. We go back to the network. Yes, VLAN, if you have VLAN, for example, you put 30 gateway, that's 24. You automatically set the range. And then you can put the experience, for example, maybe you want to put start from 10 maybe until 100 only. And then just save. So you already create one guest network in your system. Since client, you also can here, I show you. Okay, I show you on the demo site. You can see the data. Okay, this URL you can everyone can access. This one is just demo from UBNT. So from the inside you can see lah. Okay, so here pass gas allocation. So this one is client lah. You can see who's connected to your network using a network LAN or wireless, and then the IP information, activity, the device name, and so on. So this one is statistic. Like I said, if you using ESG, you can see the statistic. If you are not using ESG, you just you cannot see this statistic information lah. And then this one on the troubleshooting gas portal utilization. Basically, this is the flow, how the gas will go. Actually, for the first is gas client device will join the wireless network, and then if everything's okay, the client will then request the web page from the controller, and then access point will return address to the gas portal. This one, if everything is fine, and then the gas client is able to access the gas portal. So like I said, the controller must be running every time. At the point, various authentication method may be used to grant access to the client. So this one is method what you choose lah. Either the simple username password or voucher or social. So this one is how this looks. This one is cloud key and then the AP. So this one is the client lah. And then troubleshooting step. Verify if for example, if user say they cannot get the landing page, so you need to verify first. The most important is verify the control service is active. You can either check the controller is running or not lah. If you know the IP, you can try ping the IP of the controller. Next is verify the gas policy is enabled on the WLAN SSID. I say here. So here you must tick the apply gas policy for the captive portal. Okay. Next, if you using DHCP server, you must check the DNS, the gateway is correct. For example, if you're using USG, so everything is controlled here lah. If you not using another router, so you need to check on that router. And then for the AP also, you need to check the IP is correct, DNS, gateway, and then pre-authorization access. This one is important. Like I say, pre-authorization access is controller IP. If you not put the controller IP, so user cannot go to the controller for sure. And then verify the port. 2 port is required for this hotspot, which is 8880 and 8843. This one you can verify from the AP itself. You can access it into the AP. You try to TCP dump that port, or you can use any tools to verify the port is not used by another application lah. And then if you use PC or server, make sure you disable the firewall. And then other than that, you can try to reboot or clear the device cache lah, if still problem to connect the guest portal. Okay, so any question? You can chat on the chat box, or you can open your speaker. You can talk. No question? If not, I will end my session. If I want to use all the function for the controller, what you mean? You mean you want to see all the information like statistic and so on? Is it? So if you want full function on the controller, you must use yes, you need to use all the ubiquity products, such as first is USG, and the second thing is controller UCK, and third is the AP lah. You can go to UBNT website. Okay, first this one is this AP. You can choose. You can use any from here. And second thing is cloud key for the controller. And then switch. If you need switch, you can use switch. And second thing is the router. This is the security gateway. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. This one is minimum. Minimum lah. Clear? But the controller, it's not compulsory. You use the cloud key lah. You can use. You can install inside your server. Also can. Any other question? If not, I will end my session. So thank you for your time to join our session today. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, if you have any question, you can send email to help@syncroweb.com. I put in chat box. Yeah, any technical question you can send to email help@syncroweb.com.